So, last we left off, Bell's Hells had made their way to the Heartmoore hamlet on the northern edge of the Odiran Wilds, both to meet up with an individual who was present for the assassination of the Loomis twins and gain some information about that thread that has been tugging since the beginning of you meeting each other, and to check into a particular gig that was given to you, Ashton.
Yep.
To meet up with an individual, a Mr. Ivan Hytroga, who is the owner, purveyor, and the excitable figure behind the Twilight Mirror Museum here in the Heartmoore hamlet, who, after a botched break-in at Hexham's Manor, decided to show off how stringently strong and effective his museum's defenses have been constructed and upped since. And you were all sent by Hexham as part of a wager to break in and steal a particular item within this museum before sunrise. Upon meeting Mr. Hytroga himself, he gave you a few ground rules. You have until sunrise, starting at midnight, so roughly 5.5 or so hours to find within the museum, which resides somewhere in his ridiculous manor, a particular object, specifically the wind folly, which is an earring. You also are not the only ones doing this. There is a secondary team that is sponsored by Mistress Isha Sabanis that is going to be competitively searching for this at the same time. The winner, which can procure this object and return it to the hands of Mr. Hytroga before the sunrise, wins. And should nobody do it, he wins his wager, and you all go home dejected. For those of you who survive. To be fair, he did say that he put a lot of traps and said they're not intentionally fatal, so I'm sure you'll be fine. But as you gathered your materials, did some shopping, found out some interesting history and some connections between the ruddy moon Ruidus and the sky, you all gathered outside of the museum. And at the strike of midnight, Mr. Hytroga said, "Go!" No. And you are off. What are you doing?
Jeez. Are the gates open?
You are inside the courtyard right now.
Okay.
Kind of facing off of the other team, which is now kind of like scattering off into the nearby bushes of the front courtyard.
They scattered? They didn't go together?
We stick together, right?
I think so.
We took left, right?
We said left.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
I take off running left.
Left.
We're all going left.
All right. So you all facing the front of the manor, head off to the left-hand side. Now there are a number of hedges and bushes here that set up on this side of the yard, and there is about we'll say a 15 or so foot gap from the iron fence line that sets off to the side, the high wall, and the occasional broken, almost jail-like bars that lead off into the pointed poodle palers, as I call them. As you rush off to the left-hand side, what are you looking for? What are you doing?
Are there any root cellar doors along the left side of the building?
You do not see any root cellar or cellar doors on this side of the building. There are 2 windows. It looks like they are glass paned and have bars placed on the exterior of them, as well as curtains on the inside that are preventing you from seeing what's inside. But there is one set of windows that's closest to you and one that's further away.
Second floor windows? Ground floor windows.
These are ground floor. Glancing up, yeah, you can see there's a set of second floor windows above, yeah. And there is a third floor that from this side you do also see a...
Do they look like they're barred as well, or?
Now that you've seen these elements here, they all appear to be similarly barred, yes.
What's the distance from where we are to the back of the building? 50 yards, 100 yards?
Maybe about 120 feet or so.
I might try and just make that distance to see what's on the backside.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, we're going.
So Ashton and I'll keep running.
So we have Ashton and Chetney are both dashing off to the far end side. You turn the corner and glance, and you can see there are other sets of windows. You can also see that immediately at the initial glance, there is a rope dangling from what looks to be a second floor window, where there are a couple of figures that are currently climbing up.
Oh, they made it in already!
Well, they're already scampering in, right? Are they on
You see 2 on the rope currently that are mounting upward.
Burn the fucking road!
I'm gonna go and give it a nice big. I'm gonna run up and give it a nice big thump.
You rush up to the side, which you're relatively quick.
Yeah.
You grab the base of the rope, and you can see one of them is currently holding onto the bars of the outside of the window where the rope is affixed to, and the second one you could see is about to climb up, looks down and sees you rushing up and goes, all you hear is this voice, and I wouldn't say there's enough light at the speed you're trying to see exactly. If you hear a voice go, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Right as you grab it, and I'm gonna say, go ahead and make a strength check.
All right.
While this is happening, Matt, I'm going to start cutting through some bars.
20.
One of them manages to hold on, which is the one that's at the top, who currently actually holds on to the bars on the outside and kind of gathers herself. The one that's in the process of climbing up, suddenly goes flying off as the rope arcs and lands about 15 feet away from the side of the building. They rolled really low, and slams into one of the nearby rose bushes. You hear the crashing of roses, and you hear "oh" from the inside.
You all right?
You glance out and you can see what looks to be the small male goblin that you had encountered previously, who's like, ugh.
Fair.
And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. As he's just there, he kind of like does this hand motion, then blows air in your direction. You feel this like force hit your brain, and for a brief second, you feel almost like a tether of kinship is being drawn out of you forcefully, and you shrug it off. The charm finding no effect.
Wasted
I
spell
don't make
slot.
friends. Come on.
Apparently.
Do you think it's easier to
Are you gonna help me or not?
Yeah, all right. Come on.
All right. He's gonna kick you right in the nuts.
Oh, shit!
That's gonna be a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Can't believe you helped him up.
So you
That's
take.
pretty cool.
We'll say you take 1 hit point of damage.
All right.
And you just crack right to your groin, and immediately begins to leap past you, pushes past you to scamper back up the rope. As the goblin kind of ducks down, leaps up, grabs the rope, and starts climbing up. And as they do, they cut the rope beneath them as they get about 10 feet up.
So Matt, when he fell, I
Yeah.
turned invisible,
Okay.
and I started climbing up the rope.
Okay, hell yeah.
I'll be right above him.
All right. So right as you're climbing up, you glance up, and you can see that the other figure there is the hairless Qatari figure.
Yes.
Who at this point is kind of arms through the bar and is, you can see, like cutting with this strange device a circle into the glass about roughly this big.
They got glass cutters.
They brought them.
Oh,
Prepared? God damn it.
So as you're climbing up the rope, you start seeing the figure there is like cutting through, and it says, come on, down through you, as you feel the rope begin to move, and now the goblin is climbing up behind you, and you're kind of like pincer between the two of them as the other one is kind of in the process of cutting through the glass.
I'll do if I
You could
need
try
to
and
put-
leap from the rope to the other side of the bars, because the window itself is probably about 6 feet across.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm walking.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's coming out my butt.
Go ahead and roll acrobatics for me. You kind of like kick off the side of the building a little bit to kind of scoot and give yourself a little bit of a push. Unfortunately, with the weight beneath it, it doesn't get as far as you want, and you kind of have to like hope and pray that you have just enough, and you just catch the bottom bar and dangle there for a second. The rope shifts for a second, and the goblin bottom goes like, "Whoa! Stop moving it!" It's like, I didn't do anything. You hear like the circle of the glass get pushed in. It doesn't shatter, it just poof onto the ground. With inside the building is, come on, grabs the arm of the goblin, and the two of them, which are lithe enough, kind of scoot through into the interior of the second
Through
floor.
the bars?
The bars are about that wide, and both of them are just thin enough to scoot through.
I'll follow just behind them if I can before they try and seal it up or anything.
Ashton, what are you doing?
You vanished on me. I didn't see. I'm gonna hightail my way to the rest of the group and tell them what just happened.
I just started sawing through bars.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's possible. These are metal bars?
Yes, they are.
Oh boy, this is gonna be hard. I can slowly eat it. No, I'm just gonna cut.
Okay, so as you like grinding against it, sparks flying off of it. Go ahead and roll. 14 to hit. It's not quite pushing through enough. It's a tough substance, and you're like, sparks are flying, and you can see it's leaving marks on it, but it's just not pushing through that first kind of initial charge.
Orem pops through the air and lands against the bars, and I'm going to try to see if I can slide through since I'm so
There's
weak.
glass.
But there's glass.
You gotta break the glass.
The glass is behind the bars?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I kick it.
6 total. You kick back.
One of those.
The glass.
Fucking windows.
Ashton, break this.
I'm running by. I guess I see what's happening without breaking strat. I'm just gonna take a swing at the bars and just see what happens.
Go ahead and roll.
Bars?
Go
Oh
ahead.
wait, you're in there.
At the
aren't you?
glass.
The glass. We're trying to break the glass so Orem can get in.
Oh, then I'm just gonna take the
Cool.
butt of my
Yeah, make a
hammer
check.
just popping in.
20.
Okay. Nice.
The whole window like spider cracks and shatters into pieces, shards of it falling outside and inside the building. The curtains kind of get tugged and pulled, and you get a little bit of a glance of the dimly lit interior. There's like some semblance of low, kind of warm, almost like a fire or candlelight inside, other than that it's mostly dark. But you can now with the glass push past there, you can go ahead and like squeeze through, and you land into what looks like some sort of a dining chamber. There's very little light, and most of it's coming from other rooms. You can see there's one open kind of archway, a little bit across into the right of where you are, that leads into some sort of like a foyer type entryway, where some light source is coming from, and there's a faint light coming from the left hand opening that goes into like a kitchen.
Okay, Imogen, a little light in here.
Now in this creepy space, as the lights glow up, you can see there are table settings with ready, set to go utensils and platters. There are all manner of cabinets, and you can see what look to be paintings, framed paintings of these beautiful landscapes. And in each one of them, usually like to the lower right, in the lower middle, and the lower left, you can see Ivan Hydroga in them going like,
Shut up! Like travel.
he's just, and they have all the little they have plaques on them, and that have like really tiny text that you haven't got a chance to look at yet. But it is a manner of eager display of his journeys and travels.
First thing I'm going to do is size up the bars. Are they just built into the window, or are they part of like a locked gate?
They're built into the window. You can see them. They're kind of bent at the top and at the bottom and at the sides to create kind of like this like cage image on the outside of the window itself.
Double checking. My hammer is magical, so it cannot break. Okay, I've got the butt of it in already. I'm just gonna try and fulcrum this thing. I'm just gonna try and
Bend the bars.
Yeah, they're already weak in theory.
Roll another strength check for me, please.
I will guidance you.
Okay.
Thank you. 13.
13. They have a mild bit of give, but after about like 20, 30 seconds, you're probably going to need some help to try and continue this forward. But it is taking up a little bit of your time to try and...
Anybody?
Is Lodna thin enough in her shriveled husk to also squeeze through the bars?
I'd say, yeah, you could definitely squeeze. Like, you are thin enough to just whoop through the bars.
I'm just gonna...
you're going in?
Just let me... Excuse me.
You kind of Abe Sapien your way into the building.
I can help you.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up and put my hands on the bars and just scream and shake them, and I'm gonna cast heat metal.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Make an opening.
Okay, so first you go ahead and start shaking the bars, and they start glowing this like dull orange to a bright orange, and they will burn your hands if you continue to hold on to it. But the spell has impact. Well, you are a wildfire spirit druid. I'll say for the purposes of this, because it is not a combat scenario, if you want to just go ahead and bear down and embrace that like wildfire spirit, you can maintain holding onto the bars. And as you do, as you clutch, you can see like the edges of Fern's fingers also begin to glow to this dull orange, to like a bright orange, to match the color of the metal. And as you see it, the heat around it's causing the air to like shift and ripple. And right at that moment, you realize this is where the metal's at its softest for what the spell can get it to. You glance over, make contact with Ashton.
Put it in.
All right, I'm gonna go for that, and if that doesn't give immediately, I'm just gonna smack it.
All right, go ahead and make a strength check. 14. With the heat metal spell, it begins to spread apart even further. Eventually, it takes you a few minutes to do it, but between like all of you working together to wedge back and forth, the metal begins to push and drag and push and twist and push until there is a gap enough there where any of you could comfortably pass through.
Cool it down before. Does anybody got a little
she
water?
can cool stuff, right?
Ray of Frost.
You watch as the heavy hissing sound fills the air. Mist begins to kind of ensorcel the area around it as it begins to slowly dissipate. You see the very, very dull glow vanish to leave the twisted and left open entryway to this side of the building. The story seems pretty clear. There's nothing visibly noting a dangerous array of enchantment.
Okay, blade comes out and the tip touches just above the doorknob, and I push it open to get a better look through.
You glance inside, and you're now looking into the inside of the main foyer of this manor. You can see to your left there is a large, like wide curving spiral staircase that just curves up into the second floor landing to your left. It looks like there's spaces in the side of each part of the base staircase before it begins to do the wide curve, where you can see little tables, looks like little closets. You can see more of these large paintings that have other elements of beautiful Exandrian locales and locations with faint elements of Hydroga in them. You can see there are two statues that resemble him, both kind of framing both sides of the entryway to each staircase, both like partially nude, hands up towards each other, like mirroring each other, like they're weird, like angels about to blow on the horns to call himself down. It is a unique display. There is two kind of like glowing red orbs that sit within a cage-like lantern-like setup that give the faint light to the interior atmosphere. To the right of you, you can see the front doors from where you originally met Hydroga and kind of the exterior of where you were gathering before this all started. Across the way, you can see there is a closed door to a chamber beyond that way, and that is what you have.
Statues, do you want to take a look at those? Anybody?
We could.
They're gonna vaporize me if I walk between them?
They're holding cage doors.
We should give it a second.
So, I mean, I can certainly see if those are traps. I can spend a spell to locate traps if you're worried about traps, or I could use locate object to try to find what we're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it though, so the best I could do is I can find all earrings around us. There could
But
be
you know
lots of earrings.
it's a lapis earring.
A gold
Sure.
At
with
this
a
point in
lapis.
time, the handle on the door across the way at the closed door begins to turn.
Fucking kill him!
I have
In the foyer?
Oh, wait. A movable rod. Click, click.
Oh!
Up against the door.
Okay,
Oh, it's opening out?
I think so.
Or is it opening in?
you'll find out.
Get it in the door handle. Get it in the door handle so when they try to pull,
Doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, in between the door handle and the door. Yes.
It's either way. Either way.
So it's the other way.
Okay,
That's a good
so
idea.
you rush in, right as it, and you can see it looks like someone was in the process of unlocking it from the other side.
Fuck your kids.
It does pull in, but the arrangement does. And you hear a voice go, "Ah, shit." And you hear footsteps get quieter and quieter.
They're going another way. All right. You did it. You defeated the bad guy. Scott, are we trying to disarm traps here? What are we trying to do?
I think let's find where the object is first, because what if it's in a basement? What if it's upstairs? You know what I mean?
I can try. I don't think it's going to find it.
It's a gold
Gold
hoop.
ring
I will try.
It's got a
with the
lapis
lapis
gem.
jewel
I
on
will
it.
try my best.
just think blue.
I'm going to cast Locate Object, saying the word wind folly and describing with my mind the shape and make of this earring.
So yes, in casting Locate Object, you focus, close your eyes, and as you kind of extend your automaton consciousness outward, you feel the magic kind of spread like a soft fog, and then suddenly get pulled like a wind grabs it and pulls it down.
Down. It's downstairs. It's downstairs. Maybe we should just do a quick just shut up for a second and listen to just see if you can hear footsteps around from other folks, You
You listen, and you faintly hear what sounds like some rustling in the room beyond the currently locked door. It sounds like other doors opening and closing, kind of just barely beyond that room. So there's definitely some movement and some things shifting on the other side of the room. You do hear some faint footsteps from the second floor above, at which point we come to you.